Well, so when you do ask that question, do you want me to answer like for NoEggCraig or for Hercules?
For both.
For both. Okay. Yeah. Because I mean, I could give you like a really short because it could be a very long answer. I could do like a whole podcast on how I started NoEggCraig.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it. I mean, I know you have places to go, and so do I. But these go for anywhere from like 20 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I'll give you the short synopsis then.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, tell me how you first got started, and what made you first say, let's start a YouTube channel.
So I first started a YouTube channel because I think it was back in 2012. I was diagnosed with like a somewhat rare autoimmune disease. So the first thing I did was I went on YouTube, and there was like 2 videos, and I was like, great. So I couldn't find almost anything. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to make the YouTube channel so that when people, get diagnosed, they can go and they can find the videos. So I started doing that. It was just a little bit here and there, just like help other people out the way that I wanted to be helped out. And then after that, I was like, I kind of actually like making videos. Like, this is kind of fun. So then I just like kept doing it, and then I eventually evolved not into like just my autoimmune disease, because like I said, it's kind of rare. Not that many people are going to be looking for it. So I also started making videos about a YouTube channel like for vegans, like if someone wants to just go vegan. So I started doing that, and I was like, you know what? I haven't seen another vegan YouTube channel that has ribbon candy, like a ribbon candy recipe. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to post that. And it just kind of sat there for a little bit. I didn't expect like a whole lot of views. And then a couple months later, it just started like blowing up. And I was like, okay, all right. And then I was like, okay, I'll shoot another candy video. And that one blew up too. I was like, okay. And it, like blow up, I mean, I think like 20,000 views. So like for me, that was blown up because at the time I was getting like 300 views or something. So I was like, okay, I guess there's something to this. And then I was like, I don't want my channel, like my vegan channel, to just turn into a candy channel. So I just started a separate channel, and then that's how Hercules Candy and NoEggCraig became what they are.
Yeah. So when you were doing like those first videos on like vegan ribbon candy, were you shooting those in Hercules?
Yeah, in my parents' basement. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, for those that don't know, so your parents own this candy shop.
Yeah.
It's in Syracuse. It's called Hercules Candy. It's been there for like over 100 years.
Yeah,
right?
it's roughly 1910. I mean, back then you could just open up a business just by saying like, I'm going to open it up. And they're like, all right. So no paperwork really.
It's like the Office episode where Michael declares bankruptcy.
Yeah. It's like, you can't just say it. He's like, I declared it, Oscar.
I'm super bummed that's going off Netflix.
Yeah, I know. Well, we still got into 2021, so.
I feel like I have to watch it, consecutively just because. So.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you just kind of start, so you're doing it there. And, that blows up 20,000 views, which I think I say this a ton myself.
Yeah.
On the grand scheme of things, like my Instagram account has 11,000 followers. In the grand scheme of things, that means nothing. Absolutely nothing. In Syracuse, that's big. Yeah. Right? So 20,000 views, in Syracuse is, huge. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know of. I'm always amazed how much I don't know.
Yeah. Me too.
And you're right. And I don't know of any other people. And I'll say this, and then you'll probably tell me if people are all find out. But I don't know of many other like Syracuse-based YouTubers that are have a crazy large audience like that.
Yeah, actually, well, like you just said, my friend Chris, I do collabs with him all the time. He's got like 170,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Oh, is that the
Vegan Zombie?
Yeah,
okay. He's great.
Yeah. I only know about so just kind of jumping and making the connections. I only know him because he went to the Brianwell Eatery.
Oh, I was there too. I was with him.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
I probably saw you there. Yeah.
Well, I didn't see him there or see you both of you there. I saw it on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Because from his account, he had made a post and they shared it, and they made a big deal out of it. And then I looked and I was like, wow, it's a lot of followers.
Yeah.
For the area.
Yeah.
Immediately, I'm thinking, I wonder where he lives that he came in just for this one restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, he's here.
Basically, yeah.
So you make that, it kind of blows up, and then you just kind of keep going with it.
Yeah, I just kept going with it because it was in the beginning. It was like my parents, before YouTube, my parents would maybe ship out 5 packages a year because it was pretty much all just in store. Like barely anybody was like ordering stuff. And then after YouTube, my parents were like, wow, we got 5 orders today. Oh my God. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then we got 6 yesterday.
Yeah.
And now it's like, when I don't post a video, they'll get like 30 orders in a day, and then like my mom will tell me to not post as much because like,
really?
Yeah, just because like,
Yeah.
it just creates like too much business sometimes. And like, there's still a small store, and they kind of wish that they moved to a larger location because they just moved about 9 months ago. In the beginning, they were like, oh, we think that might be a little too big. Maybe we'll grow into it. And then after about 3 weeks, they're like, we should have got a bigger place.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, the YouTube channel for Hercules has been going for 3 years, I think, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And I did a bunch of, I sat up for like the last 2 nights just basically watching old videos. So that starts, you have the idea for it, that kicks off 20,000 views on yours. So you started the Hercules Candy one YouTube channel after the one on your own YouTube hit that 20,000, right? Okay. So what are you shooting on like when you're first starting? Like, I mean, you're not just jumping straight to an A7 III.
Oh,
right?
no. Yeah, when I first started, I used a laptop webcam.
Okay.
I think it shot in 240p.
Okay.
And then after that, I upgraded to like a Nikon Coolpix S3500.
Okay.
I think it was like $80 or something.
Yeah.
It was 720p. So I upgraded to 720p.
Yeah.
And like every time I would say like any plosive or anything, it would just like hiss. So that, and then after that, I upgraded again to an iPod Touch because I didn't have like, I had like a flip cell phone, and I think that was in like 2015 when everyone had smartphones. And then I was working at Core Life Eatery, and I had a friend who was like in one of my YouTube videos, and she showed it to one of her friends, and then he approached me and was like, "Hey, would you want to shoot something for me like professionally?" And I was just in my head, I was like, I just have an iPod Touch. I was like, and then I was like, I could maybe borrow my friend's camera, and then I was like, I should just get my own camera. And yeah, then I got a Canon 70D, and now I have the A7 III.
Okay.
So I'm just slowly get better every like 2 years or so.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm curious, why did you make the switch from Canon to Sony?
I wanted 4K.
Okay.
Because it's really great when you're trying to get a good thumbnail, like when you get a good screenshot. I punch in, like I zoom in a lot, so I could use that 4K, and it just looks better when you're like shooting candy. Like you want it to look like really detailed, So yeah, it was just like all the little extra features that the A7 III had, and I wanted a full frame camera because low light capability is amazing. Yeah, it's just all around. I like it better.
Yeah. Do you like follow Gary Vee or anything like that? Okay. So D-Rock obviously has the A7 III, and that's the camera that I want. Yeah. And then now that I'm in it more, I'm like, do I want the A7 III? I'm like, just trying to figure out all this stuff. So, the low light, I've definitely run into that a few times. That the A7 II has a great sensor.
Oh yeah.
But I've definitely run into it a couple times where it's too dark.
Yeah.
And I always struggle. I don't know if you do with that document versus create. I mean, the YouTube channel for especially Hercules, a lot of it, I guess I should ask, is a lot of it just documenting, or are you kind of intentional before you're going into filming an episode where you're thinking this is the content we're going to put out today?
So I'll often ask my mom, like, just what's going on that's interesting, and also, what do you want to promote? Like, what do you want to sell more of? Because obviously, if we post something about it, we usually sell more of that thing. Right. But there's actually been a lot of times that like we just make a video about something, not necessarily candy related. Like we went to a candy convention recently. Didn't show any of our candy, but we got more sales from that because I think what happens a lot of times is people are just like, oh yeah, they exist. I forgot about that. So I've been meaning to order from them, so I'm just gonna order. Yeah. So that's the great thing is like we can post about like almost anything and we'll still get some sales. Because like I said, I think people are just like, I've been meaning to order from them. This is a good reminder. Now they got the video. So we just try to make things entertaining. Yeah. And then we get sales from it. So it's like, great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you ever struggle with trying to kind of make things happen to make it entertaining?
Not really. Yeah. My family are all just like very snarky, sarcastic, have a lot of good banter back and forth. So like really people just subscribe for the banter. Like I've posted peanut brittle videos and like hard candy videos probably like almost 15 of each one of those, and it's the same video every time, just the banter's different. You know, maybe we've changed the techniques a little bit, like along the way, and like people have seen, like they've also seen Max, like the first time he was ever like pulling candy on the hook, and then until now he's like a pro, and like people I think really like to see the progression where like he started out and he's like so nervous, he didn't know what to do, and now he looks like he's been doing it for years, which now he has.
Right. So you're into Gary Vaynerchuk, or you follow it? You know, I mean, were you into it back then 3 years ago?
No, I didn't know who he was until I think I listened to the Rich Roll podcast with Gary V on it.
Okay.
And then at first I was like, this guy's full of it. It's like, there's no way he does all the things that he says he does.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, he does.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I struggle with that sometimes, you know, because I have to listen to his stuff sometimes over and over and over again, and then it clicks. Yeah. I remember that, you know, there's a song, for some reason I go through, like, I'm a creature of habit.
Yeah.
So if there's a movie, I have this story, like for a summer, for a whole month in June, I spent out living in our family's lake house, just by myself. And like for some reason, it was that summer, nobody came up until July. Usually everybody was there in May. So I had the whole place to myself for the month of June. And every morning when I woke up, I watched Dan in real life. So I'm just kind of that creature of habit type person to that extreme. And I spent this whole month one time listening to the same song as I would go to bed. And it's amazing the nuances you pick up as you listen to something over. And I have to do that with Gary V stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he does it in like slightly different ways, like every time, because you know one thing I love about him is he gets very specific with what the other person should be doing, like with their Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, like in order to promote their business and stuff. So sometimes, like once you hear it from like a baker's perspective and a plumber's perspective and like a travel agent's perspective, then you're like, oh wow, so this is the thing that I noticed, like between like all three of them that's common. Like I should start doing that. Yeah, you know. Yeah,
for sure. And it's you know, it's pretty interesting. There's Paul Daly. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's here in Syracuse. Okay. And Paul's goes down and does the consulting and like the 4Ds thing with them all the time.
Oh, okay.
And so he has a business here called Congruent Story that he started basically after he sold one business and started going down and doing the stuff with Gary V. Then now he started this marketing company. So it's pretty interesting to see different people doing what you hear about on the Gary V podcast here in the area. You know, so how was like when you're first starting the YouTube channel for Hercules? You know, did you ever have a struggle with your family where they didn't want to be on camera or anything like that?
There are some employees who are not the biggest fan of being on camera. We just don't have them on camera. Okay. Or there's like one person, Karen. She's not the biggest fan of being on camera, but she'll do it, and people really love her. Yeah. So I do try to put her on occasionally, but I try to give her space and like let her, you know, just be herself off camera, which is what she much prefers. So you know, just try to respect that.
That's a challenge I have even for here because I try to do this YouTube Friday. I called it just for the people here in the office because, you know, just trying to let them know Friday, be ready. And they hate it. They absolutely hate me. Okay. And honestly, I think one of the things that they can't stand about it, it's my own fault, is if I record something and then they made some weird noise or said something stupid, I crack up over that. And so I'm constantly replaying it for everybody. Yeah. You know, we have a pretty tight-knit office. But having said that, it's pretty challenging I found to try and find people that want to be on camera. We just did I have a client out in Elbridge. I do their marketing for them. Yeah. And when I first started doing marketing and stuff for restaurants around town here, you know, 3.5, 4 years ago, it was a big deal if a restaurant posted a picture on Facebook, right? Most of them were like taking pictures of their menu or stuff like that. So I was just doing it with my phone, and that was huge. Yeah. Now, you know, I have to have a nice camera because most people are hiring professional marketing companies or have hired a photographer or whatever. And so now like that doesn't even kind of separate. So now I'm thinking, well, not everybody's going to do video content, so I need to do that for everybody. Yeah. So trying to kind of find what content to create, you know, in order to get something out there. I do a wine video for one customer. I do a a podcast for another, and do that stuff. But there's another one where it's like we're trying to do recipe videos, and just either nobody wants to be on camera or like the one person that does is just awful.
Yeah.
So they just have no personality.
Yeah, it definitely takes practice.
Yeah.
Took a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, that's nice to have that to work with. So,
Oh, yeah.
So you're handhelding everything, right?
Yeah, I do have a gimbal,
Okay.
but there's just a lot of cases where it's just not practical.
Yeah.
Like where I just like can't fit it in, like, because there's a lot of tight spaces. Even at the new place, there's a lot of tight spaces. It's also very heavy, and I try to, I will often shoot for like half an hour at a time without putting the camera down. So like my camera's already like 4 pounds. Add like another 4 pounds to that. Like holding out 8 pounds in front of you like this for half an hour at a time, and then take a little break and then do it again. Like. That gets really heavy. And then also, like, I zoom in a lot, and, like, I just can't do that with, like, a gimbal.
Yeah.
So it's either, like, I get really smooth shots and I don't zoom, or I just sacrifice it and, like, I zoom. And, like, I feel like for the most part, I'm pretty steady.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you are. I feel like for me personally, I don't know if you're like this. If I look at somebody else's content, then I admire them even a little bit. I'm always thinking, man, I'm doing it so poorly. And so I'm amazed at how steady your stuff is. And then there's another video production company called 325 here in Syracuse. And I even see some of the stuff they do, and I see there behind the scenes that it's handheld. And I'm like, I can do that. So theirs is smooth, yours is smooth, and then I get out there and try and go handheld, and I'm like shaky everywhere.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the A7 III or the A7 II has, but I know the A7 III has like very good image stabilization.
Yeah.
So it could just be, my camera, not even me.
It's okay, but it's it's a lot of it is also is lens specific.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I am using like a wide angle lens, which will definitely help with that. And then I think it also has image stabilization in the lens too. So
yeah. So talk to me about like your editing process. Are you doing a lot of it? I mean, I know we just kind of talked. You're doing a lot of documenting and not necessarily creating, but do you have to put everything through a large editing process afterwards?
I'll just use Premiere Pro. Occasionally, I'll do After Effects if there's like something like extra special that I need. I actually recently hired my friend Dylan to start editing for me.
Oh, that's cool.
So then I've been shooting the videos. He's been editing them, and then he's moving from Rochester actually today back to Syracuse. So then basically a huge reason why I wanted to hire him is like partially for Hercules, but also because then I basically have like a camera guy who can always be there because he's just working for me.
Yeah.
So
cool.
so then I always have a camera guy with no matter what I want, and then it just frees me up to edit more for NoEggCraig. So then that's basically it. Yeah.
So I mean, NoEggCraig, there's nothing to shake a stick at. You've got like what 60,000 subscribers.
51,000 I think.
Okay.
I think I just hit that. Yeah.
Okay. So you have that. Hercules has 300 and. I wrote it down, 300 and something, over 300,000, 349.
Yeah.
Is this something you're doing full time now?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And is it just those two channels, or do you have something? Do you have another one or others?
Nope. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does that work? I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about it, but especially from like the NoEggCraig, because I saw like you were up at Ben and Jerry's, and I'm assuming they reached out to you and said come up. So
Yeah.
Do you get that a lot with 51,000 subscribers?
Every once in a while I'll get like some emails. Most of them I say no to because most of them are just like they're not really I don't want to sell my soul for like $100 thing. Like it's got to be something that I really like. And like I really like Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
Yeah,
I think it's like one of the best.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's I say no more often than I say yes.
Yeah. I mean, 50,000 on YouTube is obviously 51,000 is more than the 7,000 followers that you have on Instagram. But do you ever see a connection between the people reaching out to you for YouTube versus for Instagram? Or are they kind of like if Ben and Jerry's is reaching out to you through your YouTube channel, are they making that connection? Are they saying also do stuff on Instagram?
So the cool thing about Ben and Jerry's was like they contacted me and said like, hey, come up here, and they just said, you know what, if you don't want to post anything, you can just not post anything.
Oh, that's cool.
They're like, you do whatever you want. We're not going to dictate anything. So I just posted I think one Instagram picture and one YouTube video.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people there were Instagrammers, so they posted like a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm a YouTuber, so like that's the one I kind of suck at Instagram because like I'm always so focused on making the video that like I forget to take pictures.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the same thing. My Instagram recently, I used to be a lot better at the stories and keeping it going and throughout every day.
I'm very bad at that.
Yeah. I just did one, of the podcast for today,
Yeah.
and I think that's the first one I've done in a while.
Yeah.
So I definitely have to be better at that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. You don't seem to have it. Did you ever have a problem turning the camera on yourself? Like, did you ever struggle with that?
I was not very good at it in the beginning,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to, like I said, like I just wanted to help people the way that I wish that I could have been helped because I didn't know anybody, and there was there was like 2 videos, and like I was really grateful that those 2 videos are up, but I wanted more than that. So I think I posted in all like 38 videos for people who had my autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that it helps some people.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Ben & Jerry's reaches out, and obviously you're getting more through YouTube. How does it work for Hercules with 300,000? I mean, are they getting hit up by companies a lot to like try chocolate and stuff like that?
Not that often actually. I might just be because it's a company.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really that often though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really interested just in kind of how it works for companies who have that, or people who have their channels that are based in Syracuse. Mm-hmm. I say to people a lot, if I would, again, 11,000 Instagram followers is nothing, but if we were in Buffalo or a much larger city, it would probably be more common practice for restaurants or businesses to reach out to influencers of any sort on any platform and say, can we pay you or give you something to come here and do this? Here in Syracuse, nobody knows what that is. There is one restaurant that did that. There's been 2 restaurants that have done that with us. Yep. One of them said, can you come to dinner? Everything will be comped, and we'll pay you $100 if you make X amount of Instagram posts about it.
Cool.
And I was like, yeah, sure. And I feel bad because it was before I had the camera, so I was on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
I feel bad today knowing about it. And I was like, this is amazing. And my fiance and I went and had dinner, and the time the check should come, the waiter came out with an envelope of cash and slid it across the table, and that was it.
Oh, cool.
It was weird, but nobody else around here knows that.
Yeah.
Not that I think restaurants should be running out and paying everybody $100 to come in and eat.
Yeah.
But it's just something that's doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm just really curious, kind of how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's is there a future plan for like the Hercules channel? And I'm gonna ask you the same question about yours.
Just keep posting videos and just try to make it entertaining. I try to listen to the viewers and like what they want, even if like there's a lot of times that they'll say that they want something, and then I'm just like, really? That I don't know. Like I was just like, I don't know if that would really be that interesting. And then they keep asking for it. I was like, all right, hey, if you guys want it, I'll give it to you. I just didn't. I thought that like maybe only a couple of people wanted to see it. Like when I did a video of like cleaning our chocolate and roper, and my dad was just spraying it with water for like 40 minutes or something like that, and people really liked it. I think that people find it like very satisfying when they see like something that's dirty just get very clean.
Yeah.
So I think that was it. But like for a long time, I was like, I don't really think you guys would be interested in that. I got like 200,000 views. So I was like, okay.
What's the most viewed video you've put out?
So there's 2 of them right now that are a little over 7 million. One of them is like a watermelon hard candy video. The other one is slow motion peppermint hard candy, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically, I just shot it in 120 frames a second, and whenever anything cool happened, I just slowed it down.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's the future plans for the NoEggCraig?
NoEggCraig, I actually do have some like different plans because I am getting a camera guy, so that'd be really awesome. So then I'll also be like someone that I can just like sit down, like we can just like plan videos out. So I want to just post. There's a lot of videos that I have in my head that I don't necessarily want to share ahead of time, but yeah, I do have like a lot of different. I kind of want to go in like a slightly different direction. I sort of started accidentally making my family like the centerpiece or the center point of my videos. Like my mom's like huge on my channel, and that was completely by accident, just because I wanted to shoot videos, but like all my friends were like busy. They had work and stuff, and like everyone was like really busy. So then the only people I could shoot with like my mom, my dad, and like maybe my sister occasionally. Yeah. But not trying to like throw any shade at them or anything,
Yeah.
but they weren't very good at holding the camera.
Yeah,
So then
right.
I had to just hold the camera. Otherwise it'd just be like a really shaky shot. So
Yeah.
then I ended up just being the camera guy for 2 channels.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I don't really want that. So I am trying to be on my own channel more. But like, you know, once I have the camera guy, that'll be easy
Yeah.
because he knows how to hold a camera.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be pretty interesting to be able to, you know, to have that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to keep watching and kind of see
Yeah.
what progresses from it. When you were doing that was the tofu parm sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I imagine a lot of that stuff was just you and your friend just switching offhand. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. A lot of my stuff is I'll set up on the tripod and then just turn the monitor around.
Mhm.
I'll just set that up and. You know, thank God people don't see all the takes that I do. Sometimes
Yeah, the magic of editing.
Yeah. I just started getting into, it's nothing new, but I don't know if there is anything new in this stuff, but I just started getting into practicing doing like tasty style videos,
Mhm.
you know, because I've kind of, you know, it's like, all right, what am I going to put out that nobody else is putting out right now for people here?
Mhm.
We did one and I just clipped it to the railing up there.
Oh yeah.
And so I would just cut to it for like a split second, but it was just like this wide overview, and all you saw like me sitting over there on my phone, and then the 2 people doing the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, you never find out what's a good shot until you get it.
yeah, exactly, right. I watch Peter McKinnon stuff a lot, you know, and just kind of trying to get some ideas on different angles and stuff. And he has that one with his Chemex where he like put the GoPro on the bottom, you know, and just kind of learning the tips and tricks, you know, that people do. So, you know, one of the biggest things is I think for restaurant owners, it's obviously what can they do that's going to help them get more customers. So, you know, I know you said that kind of before it was like they were shipping out like, 5 packages a week.
Yeah.
So how did that start to affect sales once you started the YouTube channel for Hercules?
It just went up and up and up and
Really?
up, basically, until like, I mean, much to our viewers' dissatisfaction, my mom was like, "Craig, we got to slow down the videos." So basically, it's kind of like an on-off switch. Like you want like some sales, post a video. You don't want as many sales, don't post a video. You want like an avalanche of sales, do a live stream.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of nice. We can kind of, you know,
An avalanche to the live stream.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, because I think people see like they're making the candy right now.
Yeah.
So then they like saw that piece of candy being made, and they probably saw their own piece of candy that they bought being made like at the time, and they can also just like message us and like ask us questions. We'll answer it live. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Do you ever take orders through like the comments and stuff like that, or do you have a system where it's like?
Oh, just go to the website.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be way too complicated to do that.
Yeah. So, are there any specific strategies or like tips or like secrets or anything like that you've learned for whether it's posting like times of day or anything like that, or is it just kind of you're just putting stuff out there?
Yeah, I noticed like for Instagram, no matter what time of day, you just post it because it's not a chronological feed anyway. And also like it's funny that you were talking about like equipment because I actually like I just have a Galaxy S9 Plus and I took a picture recently and I knew when I took the picture I was like, this is gonna be our most liked picture, and I posted on Instagram. It's just like a pile of candy, like you can't see anything but candy.
Oh, wow.
And it got like over 2,000 likes.
Wow.
It got like 2,600 or something. I want to say it's that much, but like for us, like that's a lot. And like even like before I took it, like I wasn't using a camera, and I was like, this is gonna get a lot of likes.
Yeah.
And I took it, and then it did, just because like the content like in the picture matters so much more than like the actual camera and stuff.
Yeah. How many followers are there on Instagram?
Just over 20,000, I think.
Okay. So that's great, and you know. My Instagram channel or feed, I struggle a lot with engagement. In terms of just likes based on pictures, I still cannot figure out for the life of me when is the best time to post. Yeah. And so I wind up, I try to follow like the early in the morning, late at night rule. But I don't even think that matters. Yeah,
because like I said, it's not chronological. Like basically, I've found like if I like I've been liking a lot of Office memes, so like they just like pop up on my feed. Just like whatever you double tap is going to be more things like that. So if someone finds you and double taps one of your pictures, you're going to show up next time on their feed.
Yeah, for sure. How do you feel about hashtags on like how do hashtags? Well, I guess it's just tags on YouTube, right? I mean, it's not your hashtag isn't a big deal. Right?
Yeah, no, it's mostly tags.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like SEO, kind of like on YouTube, the thumbnail matters a lot. Not necessarily for SEO, but like the thumbnail matters a lot for clicks. The title matters a lot for SEO. So if you do, actually, what I try to do is I try to triple words in the description, the title, and the tags. And a lot of times it'll tell YouTube like, this is definitely what it's about. I put it in 3 different places, so this is what it's about. And like, you try not to put in too many tags, because if you put in too many tags, then YouTube's like, I don't know what this video is about.
Yeah.
If you don't put enough, then YouTube is like, I don't know what this is about. You didn't give me enough information.
Is there a magic number for that?
No, it just depends on like what you're doing. And like sometimes I'll type in like how it's made without an apostrophe, how it's made with an apostrophe. Like, so like a lot of my stuff that I'm typing in, it's very similar stuff, but I'm just doing like 3 different versions of it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So at what point, like when you first started out the channel for Hercules or for, NoEggCraig, did you was there a certain level?
Yeah.
Oh, that is the battery then.
Oh, okay.
Which was at 60%.
Oh, okay. Huh.
This thing has a tendency to kind of wear down.
Yeah.
So, and thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Most people just would have let it go.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I would have been like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
When you first started out, were you just throwing stuff out there? Or did you kind of research it? And I know you started with the videos for the autoimmune disease, but when you're kind of doing NoEggCraig and then starting like the ribbon candy one, are you researching like the tactics or like the basic stuff on what to do, or are you just kind of putting it out there and then learning it as you go?
Kind of that last one. I mean, I would like watch videos, but like it always seemed like the same like couple tips that like we're like, well, I already knew that. It wasn't that helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like now this sounds like really obvious, but like over the like past couple months, I've realized that like the topic matters so much, and like what the video is like centered around matters a lot. So like a video that I did with like, we did hard candy, but it wasn't just like we made hard candy again. It was Max is getting really good on the hook. Yeah. Or Joe's first time on the hook. Like when I say on the hook, I mean like pulling the candy on the hook. Or it'll be called like Terry finally does something around here for once, which like my mom does so much stuff, but she just usually is not in the candy. Yeah. She's usually like in her office. So like we just kind of joked around like that. Yeah. But yeah, so it was like the topic matters a lot. But as far as like searchability, like for NoEggCraig, I want to do more of that. But for Hercules Candy, it seems like whatever I post will get like a lot of views, just because like as far as like candy channels, it's us and Lofty Pursuits. Okay. So like there's just 2. So if you want anything candy related, you're probably subscribed to both of us. So
wow.
So it's very niche.
Yeah. So what do you think in terms of a local restaurant or small restaurant, or even just a small business? I mean, if they're trying to figure out, I'm struggling right now with content marketing just in general. I mean, I have a strategy which is just kind of put as much stuff out there as I can, and we spend money on Facebook ads for all my clients. Everything that we put out there on Facebook has money behind it. Not a lot each day, but something. But I'm starting to kind of hit that wall of like, all right, how much content can you just keep throwing out there? At some point you kind of have to be a little bit more intentional about it, I suppose. But at the same time, it's challenging because this is free. It's time really is the cost. So if somebody's just wanting to get stuff out there, I mean, what do you think what's your advice? Whether it's like, the biggest mistake you made, or, things like that.
So it took a little bit of time for my parents to come around to this, especially my dad. But I was just like, we need to give away our recipes. We need to just give them away. Just if anyone asks, like even if like someone tries a recipe and they have questions, we'll answer them. Yeah. I mean, we also try to let people know that like dealing with molten candy is very dangerous. Yeah. So we don't want anyone to get burned. So we recommend people like start with something like chocolate. You can't really get burned with that. Oh, hopefully if you don't, heat it up too much. I mean, you shouldn't be heating it up that much anyway. But yeah, I mean, most people just want to are just interested in like how it's done, and then a lot of times they'll be like, oh, that's a lot of work, I'm just gonna buy from them. And then a lot of people just like, they just appreciate that you made the video, so you're like Gary always says, like you're kind of like guilting people into buying. So there's like a couple different types of people. There's like the person who is looking up the recipe because they're like, I want to do it. Like they're the person who like they don't care how hard it is. They just want to try it. They don't care about getting their hands messy. And like, you're probably not going to sell to them anyway because they want to make it.
Yeah.
And that's great. And like, because we have a lot of people from like Australia who watch, and like they will just try to recreate our recipes. And like with the chocolate ones are much easier.
Yeah.
Some people have done a really good job with like the hard candy or the peanut brittle. Peanut brittle is a little bit easier if people want to start with that. Yeah, we've only experienced benefits just from giving everything away for free.
Yeah.
So I would say like if there's a restaurant around here that like they have like a signature dish, give it away for free.
Yeah.
Give the recipe away, because like a lot of people are going to be like, wow, I appreciate that they gave me the recipe. They'll like try to make it. Maybe it'll be as good.
Yeah.
And like then maybe they want to go there to support them because they're like, you just gave me this recipe for free. The least I could do is support you.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, oh, it's not as good, or it's a lot harder than I thought. I'm just going to go to them. So you kind of win. It's kind of like a win-win.
Yeah. How long was it from when you first started the Hercules channel to when you started to see like a noticeable increase in sales?
I actually don't know. I'd have to ask my mom.
Okay.
Because she knows more about the specifics of sales and stuff. I'd say probably a couple months.
Okay.
Just because, like I said, like there were no candy making videos.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's a bunch of people who like they'll go to like a candy making place, and they'll just make their own video of like them visiting it.
Right.
But there's no like candy company that's like continually putting out stuff other than us and Lofty Pursuits, which we did a collab with him, and that was really fun.
Cool.
So that was it was cool to pick each other's brains.
Where are they out of?
Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think if you are in an area, area of business, if it is saturated with content, then just kind of make different content than what's out there.
Yeah, exactly. And then like when I said like giving stuff away, like if you're a plumber and you want to just like teach people how to do the things that like you're probably not going to go to someone's house for every little thing.
Yeah.
So teach them how to do the little things that you don't want to do anyway. And then you build their trust, and they're like, I trust this guy. He just gave me that information for free. I'm going to call him, and I got the big thing that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
I
think about that all the time.
Yeah.
I'll talk to people. I'll meet somebody, and they'll be. I've met somebody who was a car salesperson, and they were doing the social media for their car dealership, and they're saying they were asking my opinion. How do you get more? We're selling cars. Like, who really cares on Facebook or Instagram about that? And immediately I went into like every Gary Vaynerchuk podcast I've ever listened to in the past. I'm like, you need to show them how to do oil changes.
Yes,
change spark
yes,
plugs.
exactly. That's exactly what I would go for.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what we do. We literally have our recipes, and like a lot of times I'll write it in the description so people can like copy and paste it,
Yeah.
and they can try our recipe. Again, some of them are dangerous, so I don't recommend everyone try it. But if you do have like proper supervision or like the proper equipment, try it at your own risk.
So do you have one piece of advice for somebody who's trying to get started in doing video content on YouTube or any channel?
Especially with YouTube, you got to play the long game because
Yeah.
YouTube, it takes a long time for it to like really catch on.
Yeah.
And like for Instagram, I feel like if you're a company that's shipping things out, YouTube could be great. If you're a company that's local, I really do think that Instagram and Facebook ads and like doing like hashtag Syracuse, New York or something, wherever you live, I think that's more of like what you should be doing. So I think it definitely varies on like if you can ship things out or not.
Yeah. Okay. So some questions I ask everybody that's on, because it is Eat Local CNY, and we talk about food, obviously. So if you're at home, you haven't hit the grocery store up in a while, which I know you do the videos from Aldi's and stuff like that. So, but there's not a lot of things in the pantry or in the fridge, but you kind of always just have those staples. They're always there. Like, what is it? What are you making dinner with?
I am not a very adventurous cook.
Okay.
I will just often make a salad or like rice and beans and vegetables, frozen egg rolls from Wegmans.
Yeah.
I just like things that don't take very much time, so I can get back to whether I'm actually working or just playing video games. I just want to get back to that because like cooking is like I like the finished product, but like doing it's like all right.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know. I guess probably something people wouldn't expect from someone who makes recipe videos. But I mean, like my recipe videos, if you've probably seen them, are much of like this guy is in the kitchen, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just try this and see if it works. So,
do you have a favorite restaurant you've ever been to, whether it's here or anywhere?
favorite restaurant I've ever been to. Sun Cafe was pretty cool in California.
Okay.
Like when I went to LA it was like called LA. It was like a vegan YouTube house. A big vegan YouTuber. Like he just organized, I think like 7 of us to just be in a house, and we all just collabed for like a week straight, and we just all went to like a bunch of restaurants. So, there's a lot of cool places in California. Oddly enough.
Yeah. Right. There's not. I think one of the most common questions I get asked on our Instagram is, we're moving to the area where like the vegan restaurants, and for the most part, besides now there's the Brinewell, which they have some great options, but before that it was like Strong Hearts.
Yeah, and like Strong Hearts is great. Yeah. I really did like Brinewell. Like I went there their first day when like things are crazy on your first day. Like I can only imagine that they're better now.
Oh yeah.
I still have yet to go back, but yeah, I really liked Brinewell, so I'll probably eat there again.
Yeah. I'm doing a best burger in Central New York.
I think I saw your post about that actually. Yeah, you were looking for him. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I went there last week. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Strong Hearts does have some really good specials. I would look for their specials.
Yeah.
I think they have like a mac and cheese burger, and there's like a chicken wing burger.
Yeah.
They're very good.
I'm going to include them in the search. It's not vegan at all though. I just went to Ale and Angus the other day, and their new burger is like a hamburger with roast beef on top of it, So along kind of the same line of the favorite restaurant, do you have a favorite meal that stands out, whether it was at a restaurant or just something you made?
Probably my mom's lasagna.
Really?
She makes really good vegan lasagna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
If she makes it really unhealthy, you wouldn't know it was vegan. If she makes it healthier, you could be like, okay, I know this is vegan. Just depending on how many vegetables she crams into it,
Yeah.
But she's a very good cook, yeah.
I have to learn the difference because, like I said, I was, watching a lot of your videos over the past week, and you've said that a lot. Like, I wouldn't know that this wasn't unhealthy, and I'm like, it's vegan, man.
You can definitely be unhealthy. Yeah. I think all the hard candy that we make is all vegan.
Really?
It's just, it's all sugar, corn syrup, like that's all it is. It's like sugar. Sugar's not healthy. And then there's just like a lot. You can get very processed vegan food. Like you can like sometimes I go to Strong Hearts. I'm like, I don't feel good afterwards.
Really? Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, it's
great food though.
Yeah. We like Strong Hearts.
Yeah, me too.
So last thing, where can people find you?
So NoEggCraig on Instagram and YouTube is where I'm posting the most. My mom actually posts on Facebook. She started for Hercules. Yeah. She started that like way before I started Hercules, or before I started the Hercules YouTube channel. And she was doing pretty well with that. Like that's what she used to do. So she posts on Facebook, and I post on Instagram and YouTube. So it's all just at Hercules Candy.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks so much for coming down.
I'm honored to be here, so thank you.